serious, and there could be a fine of up to, I think, $500 or imprisonment for 6 months of bribery. So we have to understand this whole question on paying persons for vote. But we have to ask the question whether when persons are offering their votes for sale, would you consider that to be bribery or what have you? But talking about the finances, when you look at the billboards that are now going up, you look at the paraphernalia, the T-shirts, the posters, the motorcades on Sundays or even weekdays. Before you had a lot of meetings, but now you have 3, 4, 5 meetings in one night. Uni se muna loga da chama uni poster, uni T-shirt, uni billboard, uni banner, uni tout se kalte
all
bagay
kinds
sa la.
of paraphernalia.
Ek
You
mas
snap the
se-
clappers now.
Oui, la mo se ba ka.
Yes.
Ek maka kwen ki la gen pil l'argent ki ka depanse an di dan se bagay sa la. E pi, est-ce kwe I hale, or do you think it is time that the campaign financing, whether there should be more or more enforced legislation looking at election finances?
Now, very interesting that you mentioned that. I'm actually studying right now, and I submitted a final paper for my ethics class, and it was on anti-corruption, looking at a case study of St. Lucia and Jamaica. And in Jamaica, what I found in my research was that there is actually legislation guiding campaign financing, election campaign financing in Jamaica. However, St. Lucia, there's little to no legislation in regards to that. Now, part of the reason why it's necessary to have campaign financing is that you narrow the opportunities for bribery, and you narrow the opportunities for, because businessmen now having influence within the political arena because they've given you X amount of $1 million to invest in your campaign, and that money goes within the campaign, and of course the businessman would expect a favor in return for that. So that's where you find the legislation in Jamaica guides those processes with regards to campaign financing. However, we don't see that operating in St. Lucia, and of course having those structures in place would narrow opportunities for corruption to take place. So maybe St. Lucia, we could start looking at possible legislation in regards to campaign financing to narrow the opportunities for corruption in our country and in our electoral process. So very interesting that you brought that up, you know.
Oh yes, so when the phone line open a little later, and we will provide you with the numbers a little later, that you could always call in, you could make suggestions, ask questions. Also, we'll have a WhatsApp number you could send in, you could through WhatsApp, and also you could do WhatsApp calls. So if you are in a constituency, I know right now you have meetings going on everywhere, and if you want to call to show what is happening in the various constituencies, that we're going to welcome that opportunity. So not only we here could see, but the persons that are at home or wherever they are watching will have an opportunity to see what is happening in the various constituencies, various communities, and they would actually be hearing what is going on as well. So tell me, Ms. Montour, if I may call you that way, how is the election fever like in Rosalie?
Oh, it's steaming. Steaming to say the least. I think it reflects what's happening nationally, to be honest, because like I said, we're seeing all the bases being activated. We're seeing the motorcades. We're seeing the public meetings. The candidates are being very loud, and they're advocating for their different policies and what their different political parties want to put in place moving forward. And I think, and that reflects, because I was in Dennery not too long ago as well, that reflects the heat I feel in Dennery and within that coast as well, among the few other constituencies where I've been monitoring. Elections is hot. Elections is coming, and of course we've seen the bases activated. But I want to speak up, interestingly, on what do you think the outcome will be of this election in terms of seat numbers?
Well, I could tell you for sure, a political party is going to win.
So I just wanted to, and the reason I asked you that, because we saw something very interesting happening in the 2021 election. We saw a landslide victory for the St. Lucia Labour Party, where they won 13-2. with the UWP and of course the 2 independent seats. The
I'm
last,
happy you put it that way. 13, 2 and 2. Because if I may interject rather.
go ahead.
Because I say to people that right now what you have is a coalition government. Because the SLP and the 2 independent can come together. So you do not have an SLP government, so to speak, but you have a coalition government because the Prime Minister, they invited. The 2 independent candidates, Stevenson King and Richard Frederick, to come in. Although, however, we could see where that the SLP, they did not fill in candidates in Central Castries and Castries North.
Yes, very, very true and very much so. But I wanted to also point out too, the last time we ever saw such a landslide victory was in 97.
16-1.
Right, where we saw the 16-1. And if we're looking at the trends and voter patterns, in 2001, we saw a 14-free, right? However, and in addition to that, I want to just look at general voter trends. If we look at the 92, very interestingly, 92, 06, 011, and 016, all were 11-6.
Very good. Yeah.
That was the voter margins there. So it's very interesting to see, would we see another 11-6? Added
Well,
following that pattern, or would we see?
What I could tell you for sure is that there will not be 17 not.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure coming out of that and looking if we have to go based on the trends. So my prediction really and truly is that we might see a 11-6. As to who it goes in favor, only on election day we will find out. But it's a possibility.
I believe this election there'll be a lot of surprises. I think at the end of the day, when the dust settles, and I think well by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, we should have a clear winner. And you know, loga de manye bagay ka ale lani an pile se rally lani loga de an pile moun ka ale an se rally ça là. Et puis I know gade ki sa ki ka fet en region in the region where you had a dominance of the Labour Party in the region. But in recent times, we are now seeing a move away from the Labour to that of the others. In Jamaica, the party that is in power is more aligned to the UWP.
Yes,
and
it's
the
a conservative party.
Conservative party.
Yeah.
We saw in Trinidad that the Conservative came in. In St. Vincent, all indications are that Labour is going to lose because when you look at the rallies and Ralph Gonzalez and where the weight is going, the prediction is that Dr. Friday, Godwin Friday party, the NDM, is going to win the election.
Now, and that's a very interesting election, especially for us here in St. Lucia to monitor as well what's going on in St. Vincent, because like you rightfully said, the region usually votes in one way. And if we already seen Jamaica and Trinidad already swinging towards the conservative parties, and the mood on the ground in St. Vincent is already shifting towards the UNC, which is a conservative party.
I thought you were going to say the mood is red.
No. No. We remaining neutral on the show, Henix. We remaining neutral. I'm sure the producer told you that.
I know. That was just a jab at you.
Yeah, so we're seeing, and that's for the first time, the UNC has gotten so much popularity, at least over the last 5 election cycles. They've been building momentum. And if they could dethrone the 5-star general, that would be historic.
Yes.
Historic. So we're watching, and I think it's the 27th of November.
It's a week before St. Lucia Zone.
Yes. So it's that the entire week is going to be very exciting because 27th November you have SVG elections, and of course whichever party wins, it's going to fuel and charge what's happening. I even heard a tweety tell me that Ralph is planning to come here right after
but it
SVG
depends
elections.
on the outcome of the elections. Do you think that will have a bearing on St. Lucia's election? Say, for example, the NDP wins the election in St. Vincent, which is the Yellow Party, which is more in St. Lucia. So do you think that if they win in in St. Vincent, it might have an influence, or vice versa. If Labour wins or vice versa, that there will be an influence as to the outcome of St. Lucia's elections.
I think so. And I will tell you why. For one, the political parties amongst the region usually have similar policies, usually also have similar, how should I put, structures in place when it comes to their plans and objectives. And like we said, the trend has been that the region votes in one way. So if we're, like, taking case in point, for example, we see the UNC now using yellow is the code, which is something that originated in St. Lucia, and it's now taking flight over there. And remember, we are one Caribbean. As much as we're separated by waters, our people are the same. We possess the same culture, the same skin colors. So it wouldn't be anything surprising that the policies or the how should I say, the feel for a particular political party in one country mimics that of another country. It's nothing different, or it's nothing surprising that that happens. And also you have, and like you rightfully said, depending on the outcome of the SVG elections, we might see politicians from SVG coming over to help their sister party, whether that may be in terms of mobilization, in terms of canvassing, in terms of training, or just in terms of presence and having people, because you know there are some people who simply vote on which party seems more attractive to them at the time.
Yes, especially persons who are there, they're not sure. The
undecided
voters, or those that are sitting on the fence. There's a saying in Creole, lache, silova lache koklapache, whatever direction the wind blows, the rooster's tail will go. So if some persons believe that, you know, see, tout gens qui voté by Labour, moi qui voté by Labour, et ben moi plus jeune monde qui voté by Flobo, c'est pour ça moi aller puis moi aller voter by Flobo, moi pas Jameli et puis bagay ça là. So
correct, very true.
Yeah, but the trend is quite an interesting one, and of course there will be elections coming up in Barbados pretty soon, and also in Dominica and in Grenada. It will be quite interesting to see if there is a move away from Labour to that of conservative in the Caribbean. Thereby, you know, that paradigm shift is really actually shifting. The goalpost is definitely shifting.
Yes, very interesting to what's happening in the region, and of course, we're all watching and paying attention to what's happening in the region, and of course, paying attention to what's happening here in St. Lucia. So, our guests, they're on their way. We're expecting our guests from the Electoral Commission.
Electoral Office.
Electoral Office.
Yes. And there's a difference between Electoral Commission and the Electoral Office. So I guess these are some questions that we could pose to them. And I know there is another interesting question that somebody has on Facebook. The question of, and I guess it's something that we could pose to our guests when they come in. If I committed a crime, I'm at Borderley, I'm on remand, do I have a right to vote? Because I'm not been charged. I'm still innocent until proven guilty. We understand that if you're incarcerated, that right is taken away from you. So a lot of the rights that you have, privileges that you have, as a prisoner, you don't have it. But I'm not a prisoner. Yes, I am in the facility, but I have not been convicted of the crime as yet. I might have committed a crime.
There is no judgment against you.
But there's no judgment against me. So do I have that right to vote come election day? And if yes, what is the process? Or are they allowed to?
Or what facilities are in place for that? I guess our guests would be best suited to answer those questions, so that would be very interesting. I also want to pose to our guests a few things in terms of our voter trends. We've been seeing a decline in St. Lucia's voting population. I think the last percentage for the 2021 election was about 50%.
Just about
50%. And we've been seeing a steady decline since the 97 election. Coming into the new 2000 era there, we saw a sharp decline all the way down to even 40%, 48% in the 2006 election. So I would love to hear from them what are their thoughts in terms of what could be contributing to this low voter turnout, especially in between the 90s and the 2000s. What happened then that contributed to that sharp decline in St. Lucia's low voter turnout?
Something that would be interesting for us to look at, but maybe during the week or depending on what happened tonight, is that let us look at the margin of victory, maybe from 97 up to 2021, whether there have been a decline in the margin of victory or whether it has been fluctuating. I know for a fact that for the 2021 election was about 6,039 thereabout. I'll have to double check. But interestingly, prior to that, it was just about 2,000 thereabouts. So I think although you might have had the margin of victory in terms of you have less persons staying out to vote, but the margin of victory might have been larger than the other ones. I think when Sir John won, it was just about 2,000 plus. But I would have to double check the stats. Yeah. So don't forget, you're watching Election Watch with me, Henix Joseph, Mr. HBMCH, with Ms. Rejane Montout from the constituency of Grocery. Of course, I'm from the constituency of South Castries. When persons ask me, Henix, where are you voting? I said, I'm voting for an Adventist. That's an Indian. They said, but what you talk about? They said, but guy, I said, don't forget, Lisa is also Adventist and Indian.
That's a nice one. That's a good one.
I think we're due for our first break. When we come back, our guests should be there, and we're going to have more in-depth discussions looking at trend and analysis and what are the pundits are saying out there. I know Peter Wickham, he had a lot to say about when the bell was rung and what have you. So stay tuned, St. Lucia. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
and emotion that redefine what sports television can be. Catch it every other Thursday on Hot 7 TV after the evening news, simulcast on Kiss FM with a Sunday rebroadcast following the church service and telebituaries, while streaming live on the Hot 7 TV Facebook page and our new YouTube channel. Don't just watch the game, feel the fire, live the thrill, and celebrate the spirit of sport with Barrera and Company.
Ferrara and Company is brought to you with the kind compliments of Laboratory Services and Consultations Limited and supported by Bellevue Hotel and Sports and Awards.
Looking for the best way to advertise? Stop searching. Hot 7 TV gives you more reach, more impact, and more value. Get your business in front of the right audience and watch your sales soar. Don't miss out. Call 452-6040 today and take advantage of our exclusive advertising packages. Hot 7 TV, smart advertising for smart businesses.
Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in exploring our four corners of the globe. Our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
When the time comes to say goodbye, Hot FM and Hot 7 TV provides a thoughtful, easy way to share the memories of your loved ones. A meaningful tribute across both radio and television in one simple, affordable package. Our Total Tribute Package. Creole Deaf announcements, the most trusted and popular choice across the island. Televised obituaries, a dignified visual remembrance of your loved one in high definition quality. Free YouTube upload. Each televised obituary is uploaded to the Hot 7's YouTube channel, making it easy to share with friends and family abroad.
Obituaries will be aired live at 6:30 a.m. on Hot FM Radio and 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Hot 7 TV Flow Channel 117, Hot 7 TV Plug and Play Channel 7, and the Hot FM mobile app.
Let us help you remember, share, and honor. Ask about the Hot FM Total Tribute Package today. For more information, contact us at 452-6040 or email us at caribbeanhotfm@gmail.com. Hot FM Communications, honoring your loved ones with dignity, tradition, and reach.
From 1997, that was when Dr. Kenny Anthony came on the scene, where the Labour Party had the landslide election, 16-1.
We also saw high voter turnout during that year. It was 66.55%.
Most definitely. And Labour Party, 61.37% of the vote, whilst the United Workers' Party got 36.55 and independent 2.07. Total votes for the St. Lucia Labour Party was 44,203. The United Workers' Party, 26,335, and independent was 1,494 votes. So really and truly, we could see the great numbers that was there for that year.
Now, very interestingly, the 97 election, and something that I would say attributed to the high voter turnout in the 97 election. Remember, not only did we saw the coming of Kenny Anthony, we also saw politicians like Mario Michel and quite a few other new faces to the political arena and young faces to the political arena as well, which is what I think also assisted the St. Lucia Labour Party in winning this election. And in addition to that, you had, I think, a bit of a break within an issue with the party's leadership of the United Workers' Party at that time in the 97 election, which I think these two factors played comfortably enough within that election, which caused this landslide victory that the Labour Party saw in the 97 election. And of course, the high voter turnout. I think the last time we saw a high vote turnout was in actually the election of St. Lucia's independence, the 1979 elections, where we saw 80% voter turnout. And after that, it has been within the 60s, and now within the 2000s, we're seeing it wane in the 50% region. However, 97 still remains as the year of the highest voter turnout, next to, of course, the
1979
era.
Well, lò gade manye St. Lucie ka sorti vote, le Dr. Kenny Anthony vini tête partisans Labour, nou kote Labour Party yo teni 66% moun ki sorti do vote. Ça c'est les partisans Labour yo te gen 16 à 17, et puis c'était seul monde qui te flambeau, c'était Louis George. Je dis c'est Papa Silas Wilson, il partait aller faire, il était dit pour faire un jour, c'est pour ça qu'il partait gagner. Et puis ça c'est plus pour pièce depuis l'élection cette ici, car depuis nous plus passé 10, ça c'est la première fois pièce partisan politique, ça jamais gagné autant site en cette ici. First time we have had that voter turnout. And when Sir John returned was in 2000. That was also an interesting year. We had a 58.46%.
Yeah.
But the margin of victory wasn't that big. Because the United Workers' Party got 38,894 votes, while the St. Lucia Labour Party got 36,604 votes. So if you do the calculation, it's just over 2,000 votes. But unlike 1997 still has the record where you had the difference was 17,887. And if we were to look at 2011, where you had 56%, just 2% lower than what was there, we had the St. Lucia Labour Party getting 42,640 votes, and the United Workers' Party getting 38,000. So again, we did 40, just about 3,000 plus votes made the difference. And and even the last election, 2021, well, I think that one went up 43,799 to 37,481. That is not included the two independent candidates, because the independent candidate together got 5,807 votes.
Okay. Very, very interesting. What's happening with regards to our voter trends. Another thing I think we could also want to discuss is that since the 2006 election, if we look at what's been happening, St. Lucia has been switching hands.
Yes, that is something that is quite interesting. That
I mean, back in the 80s, we saw UWP holding St. Lucia for about 3 consecutive election cycles. Then we saw in the 97 to 2001, so that's 2 election cycles, we would have seen the St. Lucia Labour Party. But since the 2006 elections, we've been seeing St. Lucia switching hands from UWP to SLP to UWP to SLP.
But the interesting question I have for you, Rejan, is I know you and I have no control over that. And I'm going to say something, but I want to be very cautious with what I'm going to say. Do you see it as a good thing for changing a government or sitting government like that? Do you think it is progressive for the country, or is it that persons are just not pleased with what they are saying, and therefore they want to make that change? What's your opinion on that one?
Okay, so firstly, I'll address the first part of your question. Do I think that it is a good thing? No, and I would say no in terms of national development, continuation of projects, actually seeing things get off the ground, because then there are certain things that cannot happen in 5 years, Henix. You could lay out a project now and only see the results sometimes 10 years down the line. So in terms of national development, I think it really hinders national development when we change governments so quickly. However, it brings the question to whether the people are satisfied with the quality of representation that is, and that's why I believe that people are not satisfied. So which is why I think that they're flipping hands so many times over, just because they're not satisfied with the quality of governance, with the policies that are put in place, with the ministerial projects that are being underwent, or the priorities of the government of the day. Which is why I feel like St. Lucians are now going through this phase where we are switching sides because we are not satisfied with the quality of governance, like what we would have seen in the 90s and in the 80s.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And like I said, some people are of the opinion that it is not a good trend. You only have 2 political parties, and you had this one there, you rejected, and you brought in another party. And then 5 years later, you go back to the same party that you 5 years ago rejected. So the question people tend to ask is, what is it so much that the party is doing to be making those changes? And like you rightly say, a lot of the projects that one starts, it doesn't complete.
It doesn't continue.
And I think this is what's bad for it, because I remembered it was, I think it was Dr. Vaughan Lewis, when he became political leader of the United Workers' Party. He said, and I'm trying to do it verbatim, he said, no incoming government is bound by the success of the predecessor. Something to that effect. That not because you did that, I have to come and do the very same things that you did, that I could come and I could do something else. But I believe it's high time that we have what is called a national development policy for St. Lucia, and that political parties should sign that
onto it.
Sign that code, and therefore so when it comes to the execution of that project, that all parties, when they come in, I think Barbados has that, from my recollection. So therefore, you don't come in and change. And once a contract has been signed for X amount of $1 million, you decide to stop that project, and then a next party comes in. Well,
you have a lot of wastage.
They have to pay money and whatnot. And at the end of the day, we are the ones suffering.
Yes.
Nous qui avons souffert, le gouvernement venu, ça, il ça, nous mettons en l'ordre. Et puis, il y a double un pile projet qui a fait. Et puis, ça chaîne nous ça pas mener nous aller pièce côté.
And we're not going any forward. We're actually regressing because, for example, some of these contracts, when a new party comes in and they terminate them, there are certain clauses where they have to pay out the contractor a certain amount of money. So not only has materials been bought, jobs have been cut, you also now have to pay back a contractor for his time, for breaking the contract clause, and all these sorts of things, which really puts us at a stagnant. Look at the Rodney Bay Road is a prime example of that, and what happened between fresh start on the current government. At the end of the day, the people still don't have a road.
Look at the airport project and a number of projects. Even when the opposition, when they were supposed to be that Sabre we spoke about, from Shock to Rodney Bay, they stopped the project. And what happens at the end of the day? We are left, and we still have this bottleneck going to Grosley. It's a nightmare. Anytime I have to go to Grosley and I get to Shock roundabout, I get upset. I say, do I really have to put myself in this thing? So I think it's high time that we as a people, the government, we need to say to them, look, this project started, you have to continue the project.
You have to continue it.
In the interest of the people and what we are doing. But there's something that is quite interesting. Friday the 21st.
Is nomination day in St. Lucia. Very exciting.
You sound so exciting about this.
It is exciting.
What's so exciting? Qu'est-ce qui a excité about journée nomination?
Well, I could speak from last nomination, election cycle nomination day. That was like a party in the streets, you know. It was like a Friday night going on in Grosley, because you had both candidates with their team of people charging down towards the Grosley HRDC to go and get themselves nominated. There was solo band happening there. There were DJs. Let me tell you, it was like a street party happening. So, the political parties really take it as an opportunity to show their strength in terms of their numbers and in terms of their creativity as well for nomination day. So it is an exciting day and an exciting time. You also have a bit of rivalry going on between the two political parties as well. Somebody telling you, oh, you can pay deposit too. Going on, and I remember that phrase buzzing around nomination day a lot of the time. And interestingly, nomination day, I think I was answering a question one of my friends posed to me in regards to nomination day and the $500 deposit. So it said that you forfeit the deposit if you withdraw from the election before election day, or if you fail to receive 1/8 of the total number of votes. So that means you would lose your $500 deposit as well.
But that's quite interesting. What do you think of because it was $250, now it's $500. What do you think of that fee? Do you think it's too small? Do you think it should be more?
Very interesting. I could look at it two ways. One way, one argument towards that may be that it's too high, because we're now setting a standard where only someone from a certain class of society would be able to afford to represent. And do we want to now allow for representation only to fit within one social class of society? Another example may be, or another argument towards that, people would tell you that politicians can pay, let them pay. So it's really a twofold argument. I think I sit comfortably in between. I think $500 is a decent figure for nomination. And of course, again, look at the regulations behind it. Once you get 1/8 of the votes, of the total number of votes, you get your $500 back. So it's not like it goes automatically within a fund within the country. You get it back once and majority of the times, from what we can see from our electoral results, the two parties always get their $500 back.
You know, I remember there was one year, there was a particular independent candidate in Denry. He actually got one vote. So that means that even his family voted for him. That was Dennis St. Clair Dabrio.
Oh, wow. One vote.
One vote.
So he voted for himself. That was it. Wow.
Only he voted for himself, and nobody else voted for him. So people say, boy, Dabrio, not even your wife and children voted for you.
Well, that one is hard. That one is hard. So he lost his 250.
He lost his 250. But I'm of the opinion that 500 is too cheap.
You think it's too cheap?
Yes. I think there are times persons are making a mockery out of the process, because, you know, what is $500? I probably could spend that over a weekend drinking or having fun with my friends. But I believe if it is a little more significant, $5,000, $10,000, I think persons now would think twice about going into this thing, because I don't think you should be going into this thing there just because, you know, I want to it's like a popularity contest. I want to be popular. I want to say I'm a candidate for election, so therefore I am going. Or that I wanted to go for a particular party because I was not accepted. I'm going as an independent candidate. Here's $500. No, 2,000, 10,000, 25,000. So then you'd have to be serious about going into this thing. I definitely think it is too cheap. And when I look at what is there in terms of persons who are disqualified, one of them, which is quite interesting, is a minister of religion.
Interesting, yes.
So if you're a priest, a pastor, you are disqualified. We are still waiting for our guests. They are not here yet. Hopefully, they will be here by. They should be here soon. Of course, don't forget the phone lines will be open pretty soon, so you could call us here. Of course, you could follow us on our Facebook page. Of course, Hot 7
TV, 117 on Flow Channel, Kiss FM, on the Hot TV HD app, and also the plug and play antenna, digital antenna.
Yes, for those persons, and of course, let's forget you could also call on WhatsApp, video call, so we could see what is happening. Can we have the numbers for WhatsApp to put it on there so persons? We'll be opening the phone lines pretty soon. But in the next 6 minutes, we'll be opening the phone lines so that you could call, you could send your WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages, and you know, let us hear what you have to say on what is happening. I know. Qu'est-ce qu'on a dit à sous élection qui a venu élection 2025? Ben nos prédictions, qui laisse quoi qui a gagné, qui laisse quoi, qui laisse partisan quoi qui laisse qui populaire. Là regardez Alain Chastenet et puis Philippe Jeppier qui laisse leader politique ou quoi qui ça conduit. Primaire, parce que Alain Chastenet a une chance pour ça conduire. Et puis Alain, actuellement, on est Philippe Jeppier qui a conduit. You have had Alain Chastenet. Who do you think? I'm not asking you, but the listeners and the viewers out there. In your opinion, who do you think is a better prime minister? Who do you think is a better politician? Who do you think is a better person to lead St. Lucia in this difficult and trying period that we'll be going through there right now? So the number is now on the screen. You could call in. The number is 460-0777. Ça c'est 460-0777. Ouais, ça couille ici actuellement, ça couille. Et puis pour ça poser question, nous allons essayer de répondre press question. Et bien nous sommes en discussion à ce qui ça qui à l'école nous a commencé à garder qui manière élection 2025 Regina.
I want to bring us back into the discussion on voter trends. And I wanted to speak a little bit more about the difference in, well, what happened between the 97 election and the 2001 election, which led to the sharp voter turnout, well, the descending voter turnout. And I think one very prime factor would be in terms of how our culture has shifted. So we saw a lot, and we still see it today, but we see a lot of political party loyalty happening, especially within the 80s and 90s era. But I think a lot of that has now shifted. People are not voting party as much, but people are now focusing on the individual voting person. You have even the youth vote. It used to be something where, oh, my mother supported SLP, or my mother supported UWP, and this is where I would vote. We see a lot of that changing right now, where young people are now looking at the party, having their own analysis of what's going on, and they're voting based on that or choosing not to vote based on that. So we're seeing a lot of cultural shifts happening in St. Lucia. And I think back in that time, we saw another cultural shift that we saw happening would have been emigration. We saw a lot of young persons moving out to go out to universities in the early 2000s. So a bit of a brain drain happening there as well. We see a lot of also, especially amongst young people, a lot of skepticism, where people feel that their vote doesn't count, or whether they vote UWP or SLP, nothing changes. So we have a lot of apathy in regards to our voting population, a lot of fatigue maybe, where people feel as if, elections doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of he say or she say, but there's nothing really impacting my life when it comes to elections and when it comes to politics. A lot of young people feel that way as well. I think also economic issues, the bread and butter things that affect us, unemployment, the cost of living. People are so hyper focused on some basic survival that they just simply don't care about the policies or governance, or they cannot tie it into their mind how governance of a country can affect how much they pay for bus.
I think when you look at the 1997 election with Kenny Anthony coming in and the likes of Mario Michel and coming out of the NYC era, those guys, I was a product of the NYC back in 1988. And then you had...
Welcome, alumni.
and you had, of course, some of those persons, they have now gone to become politicians themselves, and some of them have gone to the great beyond. May his soul rest in peace, Edward Innocent. Ed was from Suffolk, was one of those. You have had Marius Wilson, you have had Silas Wilson, you have had Mario Michel himself, you have Ernest Hillel. So you have a number of...
Sean Edwards was also...
Sean Edwards was the next time. So you have had a number of those persons who were coming, and a lot of the persons, the younger persons, could have identified with those persons because it was a new movement. It reminded me of what the people would say back then when you had the Black Power movement, back when you had the Josie and the George Odlam and those guys. And then you had 1997. Although Kenny was part before, and he came in and he brought in a new...
But he was a relatively young prime minister as well, isn't that so? Relatively.
Yeah, and you had Minister Rambali, whom young persons could have identified. So when he came in, he brought this new thing with him, and persons were able to identify where he was concerned. And I think persons were a bit tired of the same John Compton, the same people, the Romanus Lansicos, and those people that were there and whatnot. Although, and then from the time this thing happened, and Kenny won a second term. And of course, after that, Sir John came back, and he was able to win. But prior to Sir John coming, you had Dr. Von Lewis, whom they gave the party, and he lost. You had Morella Joseph coming in as a leader, and she didn't do well either. She even lost. She went to Barbados, and she lost. And of course, it had to take Sir John to come back to actually win the election for the United Workers' Party. And of course, he passed. The party was handed over to Stevenson King. And Stevenson King lost. Kenny came back into power. Kenny lost to Alan Shastney. And then Philip Pierre won Alan Shastney. And now Alan Shastney is trying to make a comeback to see if he could come back and defeat, they call him what, the 5-star general?
They call him the 5-star general, yes.
We say, look at the result election, it's intéressant. Et puis, partisan Labour, the Labour Party at the time with Julian Hunt, and I think the same fate that the United Workers' Party suffered was what the Labour Party suffered, in that the person at the helm. Person said, tell you, Julian Hunt was a nice guy, but he was not prime minister material. So therefore, persons could not really identify with him. But then, like I said, when Kenny came in, it was totally different. And I think Sir John realizes, hey, you know what? I cannot, because I think it was so far gone that he realized, hey, I cannot come and put St. Lucia together again. So I need somebody new. And I remember Lady Janice was, for Sir John's 100th anniversary, she was saying how when Sir John was now looking for somebody to replace him, they went to Romanus Lansiko, may his soul rest in peace. And he was saying that, it was Lansiko, could not have, as if he took over the leadership of the party, he was going to betray Sir John. Again, we're now due for another break. Don't forget, you're watching election countdown with me, Mr. H, and Rejan Montout. We'll be right back, so don't touch that dial.
St. Lucia, Hot 7 TV was the first to bring you a full HD newscast. Now, here's another first. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now your first newscast for the evening in St. Lucia. You heard right. The Hot 7 Nightly News is now at 7:15. Yes, tune in at 6:45 p.m. and be the first latest happenings in your world. On the run, watch us on your cell phone or tablet via the Caribbean Hot FM app. Trusted objective journalism from our diligent news team. Get it fresh, get it hot. The Hot 7 Nightly News, now at 7:15. Watch us on channel 117 on Flow, channel 7 Plug and Play, or follow us on Facebook Live on Caribbean Hot 7 TV.
From your desk to your lunch table, whether you're on the job or taking a well-deserved break, get the top stories and breaking news all in one place. Join us Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. for Hot 7 Midday News, bringing you the latest headlines from St. Lucia and around the region. Stay connected, stay informed, only on Hot 7 TV.
Did you know that while you're busy with your day, important news is breaking all around you? From politics to weather updates, community stories, and breaking news. Hot 7 TV keeps you informed with news every hour on the hour. Don't wait to hear it secondhand. Stay ahead, stay informed with Hot 7 TV St. Lucia. News notes on the hour. Stay updated wherever you are. Catch Hot 7 TV St. Lucia's news every hour on the air, on our mobile app, and on our website.
The second half of season 2 is here, and Pereira and Company is back to reignite your passion for sports. Join Reds Pereira and his all-star lineup of guests as they dive into the heart of athletic excellence, sharing untold stories, powerful journeys, and the raw drive behind every triumph. From trending sports news to unforgettable moments that put you right in the action, each episode delivers insight, energy, and emotion that redefine what sports television can be. Catch it every other Thursday on Hot 7 TV after the evening news, simulcast on Kiss FM with a Sunday rebroadcast following the church service and telebituaries, while streaming live on the Hot 7 TV Facebook page and our new YouTube channel. Don't just watch the game, feel the fire, live the thrill, and celebrate the spirit of sport with Pereira and Company.
Pereira and Company is brought to you with the kind compliments of Laboratory Services and Consultations Limited and supported by Bellevue Hotel and Scott Sports and Awards.
Looking for the best way to advertise? Stop searching. Hot 7 TV gives you more reach, more impact, and more value. Get your business in front of the right audience and watch your sales soar. Don't miss out. Call 452-6040 today and take advantage of our exclusive advertising packages. Hot 7 TV, smart advertising for smart businesses.
Wanted with my co-host, Mr. Henix Joseph, and of course you could stay tuned and follow us on Flow Channel 117, Caribbean Hot TV HD app, the Caribbean Hot FM Facebook page, and the Hot 7 TV Plug and Play digital antenna. We're discussing everything elections this season. We're on a countdown to St. Lucia election.
Now you can take
the 1st of December. We're looking forward to that. Nomination day is on Friday the what?
Friday the 21st is nomination day. D-Days. I say, validez les votes. Novembre, c'est élection côté jour, nous avons nominé un candidat, divers candidats côté, nous avons monté by divers parties, ça. Bon, moi, I heard that Miku, you have about 5 or 6 independent candidates.
That is quite something, you know. Now, what do you think about that, Hedix? Having 5 independent candidates going up in one constituency.
See, that is why I said maybe it is a bit too cheap.
Too cheap.
Yes.
You think it's just a mockery of the process?
One could say that because of that, you know, persons come in, hey, $500, it's $500, and I could run. But the interesting candidates, Grosile, you have thus far we have Marcella Johnson for United Workers Party, and then you have Kenson Bebe Kaseme for the St. Lucia Labour Party. Of course, that is your constituency. Don't forget, the phone lines are open, and the number to call to reach us here is 450-0777. You could give us a call and let's have a discussion. À nous discuter, vous avez parlé en anglais, ben pour vous savoir commission à sur WhatsApp et puis nous avons commission et puis nous avons en discussion à sur ça ou vidéo sur là. Rejan.
Of course. So, yes, we're looking at the candidates, and of course, you mentioned Grosile. We have Marcella Johnson, who will face off against the incumbent Kenson Kazimi. It is expected to be quite a very interesting election. Of course, we see Marcella Johnson as a newcomer into the whole electoral process, but similar to that, we saw a newcomer, Emma Hippolyte, at one point in time. Coming into the politics as a woman in politics as well. That's another thing that needs to be highlighted. St. Lucia, unfortunately, we have one of the lower rates of women in politics in the region. I don't think we have that many candidates who are women participating in the electoral process, but it is something that we're seeing more and more. Within the region, that we're having more female politicians coming out, and I think that that is a good thing when we see that happening, and hopefully St. Lucia within the next 3 years can see more female politicians stepping up and claiming the mantle and taking their seat in parliament. So yes, back to Grosile. These are our 2 candidates. For now, we have not seen the emergence of any independent candidates within that constituency just as yet. So we're expecting for it to be a very interesting showdown between Miss Johnson and Mr. Kazimi. Within your constituency, though, Henix, are there any independent candidates you've heard of that may...
Mon coton là ni pièce candidat indépendant mais comme ça journée nomination c'est le 21 novembre nous pouvons espérer regarder qui ça a fait. Bon, moi I want to look at in 2016 the United Workers Party Spider-Man got 6 we have a call. Bonsoir, good evening, welcome to Election Countdown. Hi, good evening, welcome to Election Countdown.
Yeah, I was just, I heard a question earlier on because I was trying to get the number, the line. Apparently the number was 4560. However, I just wanted to find, you asked the question about who you think is going to win this election.
Yes, yeah, well then, okay, can you tell us what constituency you're calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Boston.
That's Grosile.
Grosile.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe based on the fact that the SFP has done very well. I believe the SFP will win this election very handsomely. I was a little earlier on. I listened to your co-host who indicated that 11-5 or what's it say, 11-6 or something so, and I'm saying there is, even if she has 36 to show that it is 11-6, but there's not all, nature doesn't always repeat itself like that. And my reason for saying so is because the Prime Minister, Philippe Despierre, has done tremendous. I mean, he has done better than most Prime Ministers ever in his first term, and he continues to do more than a lot of things that out of the box, what you didn't expect. So I believe he will handsomely win that election on the 5th of December.
So you are saying definitely that the St. Lucia Labour Party and Kenson Baby Casme is going to win the Groseley seat.
Oh yes, Kenson Casme is going to win that seat very handsomely. As a matter of fact, he will do better than he will beat Marcella Johnson worse than he did Biden. Because
Okay, he
all
beats.
my neighbors, they see the bosses in Syria there. There are flags hanging, red flags hanging all over in my area. So that tells you how serious. And I never seen that before. I am there for about 20 years, and I've never seen this before. So that tells you how, and you know the people who tend to share how bold they are right now. They're bold. I'll tell you what made them be bold so much is the way that the former Prime Minister, Mr. Taxi, just taking people for granted, disrespecting people. You know, and you don't disrespect people. The majority of convictions are honest people. And then you don't come to disrespect people and everything that happens in the House of Assembly, you just like you just pick up because you don't like what he's saying. Take it as a man. You know, people take it as a man, and I'm saying I have never wrong in my predictions for election. I have never. And I'll tell you that, and together with, there's a gentleman, Claudius Francis, when he does his predictions, I haven't heard him for a while, but when he does his predictions, before that, he was always correct and on point, and I was always saying to myself, this guy is very good at what he does in terms of assessing and being honest with who's going to win and what not, and I believe that solution is going to show a statement, a strong statement. They're going to vote in drones, they're going to vote in early voters, are going to get and they're going to send a strong message. You know, this black brother is doing so well.
So the last election.
So well, I mean, you cannot understand.
So the last election, the first seat that Labour won was Groseley. So you're saying that this election on the 1st of December, the very same thing is going to happen. Hello?
Come back again?
I said last election, 2021, the first seat that was declared winner for the St. Lucia Labour Party was that of the Groseley constituency. Are you predicting, saying that the very same thing is going to happen again this election?
It's going to happen. I think the first election, the first constituency that won last year was Richard Frederick because of the size, and I remember very clearly, the election before, he was always the one that won the election. The first. He's always won because I think it's one of the smallest in terms of numbers. So when Richard won, it was just But however, in my prediction, I have one question. Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
I have one little reserve for the Babono. I am questioning Babono as to whether Labour will win that seat. That's the only question I have. But the rest, it might be a small margin, but Labour will win.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I will call back that show because I know for sure it looked like it election turned down, and I will call for you to hear my prediction.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, we are indeed counting down the days towards December 1st. Thank you very much.
Yes, well.
Well, I just wanted to verify one thing. I think you asked the question of where did I get? Oh, he got off already.
No, he was asking about your prediction. You said 11-6, and he was just commenting on that. I think we have another caller. Bonsoir. Election countdown.
Hello, good night.
Oui, bonsoir, good night.
Yeah. I want to make a comment.
Go ahead, please.
Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir.
Bonsoir,
Oui.
good night. You could speak
Good night,
English
good
or
night.
Creole, it don't matter. Could you tell us what constituency are you calling from, please?
What are we from Ray Tree?
Redrive,
another
okay.
Groselay.
Groselay, okay.
Patois n'a parlé, patois.
Parquet. Parlez Creole, okay. Pas de problème.
What are we from Ray Tree? Gozile.
Uh-huh. Nous pouvons parler?
Oui. Les bakaviers going sit la Gozile.
Mhm.
Because Kenton Kazini a travaillé. Il a fait chemin, il a mangé là, il a aidé ni flambeau ni les bas. Il a travaillé, imagine un jeune monde travaille comme ça. Et home caregiver, il a travaillé flambeau les bas. Because les flambeau pour 2017, yo fire tout le monde qui était là. Moi, c'est yo fire. Et un travail from human services. Et moi, pas rien bas spider. Et un travail human services. Moi, pas jouer nothing. Yo pige moi, pas moi vote by SLP. So 1st of December, les bakavi actifs pour aider ni flambeau, ni les bas, ni PLP, ni UW, tout pi. Oui,
Comment
est-ce que bakavi actifs?
Comment site ou quoi les bas kaige pour ça là?
Et moi, c'est pour payer l'argent, ça. Si on y a un travail from human services, même si vous avez supporté un parti, vous supposé pas ou bagaille. Parce que tout le monde a payé taxe.
Mais tu as comment site ou quoi partisan les bas kaige pour ça? Quoi yo kay perdre pièce site yo ni et ben yo kay
Non,
change.
les baka bien tué, ils ont plus de place ça yo tenu.
Okay, so ka di
Non,
Bradley.
yo pas perdre pièce, yo pas perdre pièce, parce que les baka travaillent tout partout.
Okay. So ka di Bradley et puis chasse de sa perd site yo.
Bradley Caped.
Ek chasse.
Oui.
So di le bas après tout.
Caped, chasse Caped. Parce que ça se fait pas rien qui rocher. Moi, c'est qui rocher samedi passé. Ça se fait pas rien qui rocher, diga. Moi, toujours là.
Ok. Ça c'est tout?
Oui.
Ok, merci un peu pour couiller et
Alright.
pour contribution. Ok, dia bonne soirée. The support for Groselay seems to be a bit strong from the two callers that we've had, and they've certainly been giving kudos to the current parliamentary
incumbent.
representative, saying
We have another call.
we have another caller. Go ahead. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Election Countdown.
Bonsoir, parler créole.
Password, parlez créole, pas de problème.
Moi, je suis Pierre Marchand.
Quand-
Moi, qui suis Marchand. Ouais. Monsieur Javaquin Philippe Joseph Pierre. Pierre, si vous n'avez pas ta tête. Parce que quand travaille, moi, tout. Ni blanc, ni noir, tout le monde, il y a un pensionnel, tout le monde, quand on a bail, comme monsieur Philippe Joseph. Les chaque média, pas rien. C'est son jour. Il a toujours pas dit monsieur Philippe, crier, ring the bell. Mais toujours de, le passage de la mystery. Bon, après, il va crier belle là. Il va crier belle, il just by tac là. Après, tout le monde a écrit son bonnet. Il va demander ring, il ring. Et qui ring? C'est ça, moi,
Il ringue.
Qui croit encore?
Qui prédiction pour l'élection ça? Comment site ou quoi partisan les bas kay gagne ben yo kay perd? Okay.
Oh, the caller went
All right. Okay, Moussa ja allez. Eugène, what's the
Oh, I was just referencing the 11-6 that I was referencing. It actually came from my observations on voter trends. I was saying that 11-6 has been the commonality in regards to St. Lucia's electoral dynamics. When we look at 92, when we look at the elections of 2006, 2011, and 2016 were all 11-6 elections, elections where the party won. We have another call.
Go ahead. Bonsoir. Hello, good evening.
Bonsoir.
Uh-huh.
Bon, c'est vraiment dit. Because moi, ça va venir assez souvent.
No pas bien nous sommes cadés.
Like over matter of 4 multi-million.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
On entend politique. Ou bien ça fait un petit moment between 4 ans et 3 ans. Pour ça, multimillionnaire.
Ok. Qui côté au capouille sorti? Hello?
Je vais parler bébé.
Qui constituency au capouille sorti? Rosely, ok.
So c'est vrai, c'est une pour ça dehors, because Maragoban, mon attaque, oh la vie, mon pension avec moi, ça fait ça.
So, au cas de bébé Kaiped?
Mari Kaiped, moi, nous, ainsi pas qu'à sortir, qui m'a dit, tout le monde, millionnaire.
Oh, ou ka mande question, qui m'a dit, fait. L'année allégation, côté, il dit, c'est un millionnaire, ou voulez demander ces questions?
Oui, because l'année, il y a les noms.
Eh bien, ça où ça fait, c'est là, de votre côté, il y a un meeting, aller là, et puis.
Tout le monde il peut supposer venir comme ça.
Et qu'il ne peut pas répondre. Bon, est-ce que l'élection qui vient là, est-ce que vous avez voté par lui ou vous avez voté par Marcel là?
Je vais voter par lui encore, moi je vote par lui là, je bénéficie de ça.
Ok, so vous avez voté par Marcel là. Bon, qui prédiction? Vous n'avez pas voté pièce? Pièce? Bon, pour vous pas aller voter. Yon ba voulot. Ok. Bon, qui prédiction? Qui moun nou kay kwe? Quel est partisan kwe kay gen? Pardon? Ou di yo kay vi assise? Bon, est-ce que yo kay ped pièce en ces site la yon? Est-ce que yo kay ped pièce? Ou di gay kay vi assise? Ok. Mais Jean, on est presque ça pour monsieur?
Yeah, so is Guy the only candidate you see returning?
No, Herod.
You see Guy and Herod?
Okay, so and do you think that the two that Labour Flabo has right now, do you see they losing those 2 seats?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
So much.
Yes, I was looking at the 2016 and the 2021, where you had Spider won by 2,582 votes, and Kenson Casimir was able to turn that around and win by 2,053 votes. That was a huge margin. 2,000 votes to turn around. I think maybe persons were counting that seat as a safe seat for the United Workers' Party, because Baby being
a newcomer.
Young, a newcomer, and Spider had been a seasoned politician, and to have what's your take on that one there?
I think certainly in St. Lucia we're seeing that younger candidates pull the youth vote. It's nothing new. It's something we saw again in the 97 election. So coming in, I think Mr. Kazimi came in with that sort of an advantage, pulling in the votes of the young people in that election. But I also think that Grozile, like many other constituencies, there was a national swing that was noted in the last election, and Grozile would have been one of the constituencies highlighted as one to have benefited most from that national swing, as opposed to constituencies like, I think Dennery North said that it was noted that there wasn't much of a, although there was a national swing, much wasn't noted on it. So Sean did not benefit much from that national swing. Also, if we look at voter migration in St. Lucia, you would see Grozile having the densest population in regards to voters, and also the most diverse constituency in terms of economic diversity, where you have multiple people from across the island migrating into Grozile, of course, for jobs, because economic activity is within closer reach and whatnot. So I think Grozile is a better representation of how the country votes, so to speak. However, and very interestingly, and it's something that I mentioned on my WhatsApp status not too long ago, that Babono has actually been the constituency to tell you who wins nationally.
Interesting.
Right? I think there was only one election in particular, that's the election of 79, where Babono Babono went UWP, but the country went SLP. That was the only election in Babono's existence where that constituency did not tell you who will win the elections.
Is Babono the only constituency that has never been in opposition?
Well, that's they have been once in the 97 election, so that's the only constituency who can proudly say that they've never really lost. If we're looking at anything past the 79 election, so Babono really has been the constituency to tell you where the country is going or where the country votes. So all eyes on Babono, I think, for this coming election season. All the political enthusiasts, if we're looking at how the country is voting, we're really zoning in on, based on trends, based on St. Lucia's history, we're zoning in on Babono, seeing where Babono is shifting to go, and seeing whether Babono keeps up its reputation as being the predictor of the elections on the national level. So all eyes on Babono for this season, as we look at and we count down to elections.
Yeah, you mentioned Dennery North, and I did a quick calculation where in 2016, Sean won by 131 votes when you had a national swing. And this last time he won by 271. Good evening. Welcome to Election Countdown. Hello? Yes?
We want to comment about my election, but about the penny. Everything about election.
Ma bietan saukadia.
On veut parler de comment.
Ok, parlez, pas de problème. Donc, à côté, parlez.
Les Kenny entré en power, il vient pour l'élection. Kenny joigne et puis peut-être tout travailler en cette vie. Il joigne et puis il fait combien de temps? Round the island. Il joigne et puis moun travailler pour ça pas travail. Il allait la caille moun pour chaque bagage. Avec him, il tout travailler, il travaille. Il mettait l'argent en la même. Bon. Philippe Jean-Pierre fait même bagage là. Il peut tenir en Taïté. So right now là, on est regarder tout le monde combien de flambeaux point.
Comment dit flambeau point?
About parti tout seul, yo point.
Qui côté au est sorti?
On a couillé en Choiseul. Avec petit Choiseul, right now, là, il a continué.
Qui est-ce qui a Choiseul?
Il wet. That's a predict right now.
Il wet?
Oui, wet.
So qui est-ce qui dit jaune kage mais rouge kage?
Qui laisse dit kage, boy, il wet, but I don't kill it kage.
Ça ouais, ou pour ça. Bon, en vous-même, un des partisans politiques là, quel est-ce qui a gagné l'autre élection?
Qui est-ce qui a gagné?
Sorry?
Les bacs a gagné.
Oh, les bacs a gagné.
In Sozel?
4 tout seul. So, on dit les bacs peut-être qu'il peut aider en ces sites là, et puis Flambeau qu'il peut aider les autres.
Flambeau, c'est pas bon nous. Laisse-moi regarder. Il peut aller là-bas. Petite nuit en bataille. Vous attendez moi?
Ma bietan saukadia.
I think he said the Babono and the Dennery South seat.
Oh, so you're saying that Flambeau is going to win Babono and Dennery South?
Yeah.
Inclusive of the 2 that they already have?
No, it's not that.
Oh, they're losing the 2 they have?
Dennery might lose this seat.
Sorry, I didn't get that one about Dennery.
Dennery South?
Dennery South. Might lose this seat.
I'm not, you said, I heard Dennery South. What's the other one?
And the other one?
Choiseul is in battle. So, this visit, I don't know.
So you're saying Choiseul, Dennery South, and Babono are the free seats. Who will win? Who will win these 3 seats?
He said Flambeau is going to win those 3 seats.
Okay.
Flambeau.
Okay.
Now, compare Prime Minister qui a passé à Hector. Chasne te calé pour faire pays à faire pauvre. Mais qui a fait de l'argent côté nous ni pour payer. Et ta cabine de yo pas ni yo pas de l'argent qui nous pour payer. Because pas oublier nous en cette pas qu'à faire l'argent. Et nous ni pas babat ni autre l'argent et autre en prix.
Hello? Okay, I think we lost that one.
You cut me off? Yes, it's different now.
Hello? You still there?
Yes, it's different now.
Sorry.
Your phone had a lot of noise.
Uh-huh.
Your phone had a lot of noise. It's different now.
You were saying?
I was saying that, can you hear me?
Yes, we
can
heard you.
We can hear you.
I'm saying that Philip Jettier had already spent a lot of money. Shasta wasn't going up in that section. Section, qui est point là, c'est pas aucun Shasta de Gali. Shasta de Gali fait pour payer à tenir l'argent. Mais Pierre a pété l'argent pour spendre l'argent, pour nous prendre l'argent.
Okay. So, quand Pierre a prêté l'argent pour nous dépasser l'argent, nous pas de l'argent.
Ça, Pierre a fait, nous pas ça. Il a pas de chapeau, nous côté là, mais nous pas à point.
Okay, don't pay ça là. Merci Appeal. I guess the caller was talking about there's a bit of distortion, so it wasn't very
it was a bit
too
unclear.
clearly. But one thing he said for sure, I think I got clear, that he said that Choiseul is a bit unpredictable, that it is very difficult in Choiseul at present. But he alluded to the fact that the United Workers' Party is going to win Babono and Dennery South. Yeah. And you spoke about monies being spent, that we are not making monies in St. Lucia. That I think he said that the government is borrowing a lot of monies. To spend money, and when we don't have monies in St. Lucia. It's quite interesting that
the different perspectives, though. A lot of people are sharing some very different perspectives, and again, it's only on election day we will actually know whose perspective is right, whose prediction is right. And
go ahead, you're correct. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that, it's just very interesting to hear all the different perspectives. And I mean, everybody has their own take on how they think the election will turn out. And it's only on election day we will actually know. We could give our predictions. We could say who we think will win. However, it's only up until that 6 o'clock when the election gate closes and the votes begin to count. At around, I think you said about 9-10 o'clock, we should have an identified winner. For most of the constituencies about that time, which will we know who will come out victorious in this election season. But it's very exciting. It's very exciting. A lot of different perspectives, a lot of different predictions. The voter trends is still showing us that it could go any way. We're getting the calls from the constituencies where some people are in favor of the St. Lucia Labour Party, some people are in favor of the United Workers' Party. It's just a very interesting time, St. Lucia. And our lines are still open. Our number is 450-0777. You could call, tell us your constituency, tell us your take, and tell us where do you think that this election season will go. Which seats do you believe the St. Lucia Labour Party will retain or lose, and which seats do you believe the United Workers' Party will retain or lose? Henix, I think you were telling me about your constituency a bit earlier, and you were running some figures on that. How about informing us about last election? What was the margins like in Castries South?
Last elections, I don't think even the incumbent himself saw him winning. I honestly, he said yes, but the way it was, I think it was a shock and a surprise to most persons.
Okay.
I think we have a call.
Yes. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to Election Countdown.
How are you doing? Very good. Very good.
Sorry, I didn't get that, caller. Can you repeat? You're sounding a bit muffled.
Hello.
Yes, hello, good evening. We lost the call?
Yeah, we lost the call. Yes, and I remember there was a day that there was a motorcade, and guy had vehicles from Lacroix all the way to reach a place called Bonsejour, a bad chaussee, and Drakim had one. It wasn't a quarter of what, and person say no, definitely a victory for Guy. And on the night when the votes were being counted, and when Guy lost the seat, I'd be like, everyone's like, what? Guy lost that seat? I mean, even to a certain extent, persons like Herod, I think there were some 6 persons who were really surprised. That they lost. Mikud North. I wasn't surprised.
You wasn't surprised with Mikud North?
No. Good night, Boswell.
Hold that thought, Alex. We'll be back with that thought.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Okay. I wasn't surprised because of my past life, the work that I did. I was in Miku doing some work, and you could have felt the mood on the ground that persons were not too happy. And I spoke to some friends and I said to them, hey, Gil is going to lose the election. The election must be a madman.
I would probably have given you the same reaction if you told me so, because that has never happened in St. Lucia's history, what we saw happen in the last election with Miku North, seeing Miku North turn from yellow to red. You know, that was one of the biggest surprises, I think, that carried that 2021 election, seeing not only just the huge takeover from the Labour Party in terms of claiming seats, but claiming the Miku North seat. We have another call?
Yes.
Okay, let's take that call.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Election Watch, Election Countdown.
Labour all the way, Labour all the way.
Where are you calling from?
Where are you calling from? They hang up. We want to at least know your constituency's caller, so at least we get a feel from where everybody is at. But yes, we were talking about the 2021 election and some of the surprise seats that came about. I think a similar thing, it was a surprise for the Grizzly candidate as well. Spider, I think, was noted to have one of the biggest motorcades on island.
I wasn't surprised with Rosalie either. I think we have another
call. Nothing not surprising you.
Good evening,
we have another call.
Election Countdown. We lost that call.
We lost that call.
I'll tell you, I was, at the time, Commissioner of Crown Lands.
Okay. Was that in your past life as well?
And I visited the various constituencies because it was Flabo Party in government. And of course, I had to be out there with the parliamentary reps, and I was there both the SLP and UWP reps. Good evening. Welcome to Election Countdown.
Hello?
Yes,
Hi,
good evening.
Yeah. You see, Drinov?
You're calling from Drinov?
Yeah. UW must win. UW must win that seat.
Tell me, why do you think so?
Huh?
Why do you say that?
Yeah, I think Bradley. Yeah, he bring the seat home. Yeah.
Okay, but do you see the UWP winning that election, or SLP retain?
Yeah.
And how many seats do you think they're going to win?
Yeah. UWP will win 8 tickets.
How many?
8.
8 plus the 2 that they have, or 8 because if they win 8, they cannot form the government. They need 9.
They have 2. They have 2.
Oh, they're going to win. They're going to take 8 of the seats that. Can you?
Yeah.
Which 8 are you talking about?
Okay.
Hello.
Which 8 are you talking about? I want to finish now.
I did this. I don't care what they say.
I didn't capture that either, but I think we lost that call.
Is the caller still there? Okay, I guess he's gone. So we're trying to get a feel as to which
seats,
seats is talking about. It is quite interesting that they said 8 plus 2, which makes it 10, which is almost in keeping with what you said, you're 11. I think we have a call.
We have another call.
Hello, good evening.
Oui, bonjour, oui,
Hello? Hi, good evening. Welcome to Election Countdown.
Oui, moi juste en Guyane, moi pas content de dire pour ça faire. Pour mettre couleur en l'autre ça oui, pas mettre couleur, il pas ni jaune ni pas ni. Ça me devait dire tout. Moi la pas suivre des couleurs commencer.
Vous devez nous mettre couleur à son nom?
Oui, moi te couleur pour ça côté.
Non mais programme ça là c'est pas un programme côté nous ca venir là pas ca supporter your parties.
Moi c'est mon Cayenne mais moi levé Saint-Christine, moi levé Balata, moi c'est la famille Alexander Balata. Balata tout. Depuis là il commence moi ca suivre ça depuis là il commence moi ca suivre et moi bon parole moi content toutes ces belles paroles là mais moi dis moi pas sortir pour que madame là ma ça pour c'est moi développer pour les en là.
Oh non, nous pas supposé, nous pas ça faire ça. Mon programme là, c'est pas un programme côté. Nous, mon côté nous là, nous pas qu'à supporter, mais nous pas qu'à parler en faveur yon partisan politique et bien yon l'autre. Côté nous là, c'est un programme nous là, côté nous qu'à discuter bagaille qui qu'à aller en élection pour jour élection nous qu'à essayer garder sur nous un candidat qui ça venu ici et puis parler nous côté moun ça quand ça poser question demander question mais nous même pas ça mettre pièce scolaire à sous nous pas ça parler en faveur pièce parti politique et bien l'autre c'est pas ça programme ça là pour c'est pas ça pas un programme flambeau et bien un programme débat ça c'est un programme côté nous qu'à indiquer moun nous avons instruit moun à ce programme d'élection qui est Madame Barakale.
Mais mon cas moi bien content programme là moi depuis en tous ces monde qui a parlé de politique là à zone dia moi qui a parlé plus bien en tous ces monde m'a menti pour ça pour ça mon prier.
OK, merci un peu. Quand on a sorti ou dit
I think he said Balata, but he's from French.
Balata. OK, et qui est sous quoi qu'il élection là de ça?
Maintenant après Monsieur Aditaléa, puis Babono, et Benusau, et puis dans l'autre côté, ils l'ont maintenant. Moi, pas quoi, pour Babono, moi, quoi, rouge, la rapouille.
Vous dites Babono, c'est flambeau?
Non. Et les bas.
Les bas?
Interesting.
Oui, mais moi-même, les en flambeau. Moi, les en flambeau, mais moi, pas en pied. Mais mon cas suivre, mais tout le monde m'a tourné grillé, les bas ont passé tout partout.
OK, alright. Vous dites les bas après tout?
Tout.
OK. OK.
Mon votre émission là, on va dire madame bonsoir pour moi et puis moi la écouter.
OK, merci puis nous attendons assez bien pour qu'on assez bien.
Assez bien, attend bien bien.
OK, ben nous attendons assez bien. Mais OK, merci un peu beaucoup.
Oui, c'est la famille Alexander Balata.
OK, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting. No, you have another call, you said? No. Yeah, so I was saying to you, because of the job I did, I was on the ground because there were a number of initiatives that the government wanted to have. And you could listen to what the people were saying, and definitely you could have tell that. Hi, good evening. Welcome to Election Countdown.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, just joining the program.
Yes, my dear. So, what's your prediction on St. Lucia elections?
My prediction on the independence and the time, I believe
Sorry, I don't think we captured anything. Can you just repeat that for us?
I said my prediction on this election in St. Lucia, UWP is going to win.
Is that UWP is going to win? And by how many seats?
It will go back to the 11
And you're saying 11-6 in favor of UWP?
Yeah.
What constituency are you calling from? What constituency are you calling from?
I think he said Miku South? Yes, he said Miku South.
Okay. And you're saying that the incumbent is going to retain his seat? Yes? I'm not hearing you too clear.
What's that?
I'm not hearing you too clearly at all. I'm not hearing what you're saying.
The reason why I said that because the Labour Party have not delivered to the promise they made to the people of St. Lucia.
Okay. You said that the broken promises that the Labour Party has not delivered on what they promised.
Because let's look at the healthcare, Mr. Hennig. And even now, one of the things that they pull us with is about St. Jude Hospital. So, I mean, if a nation that doesn't have a proper health care in the country, that is well documented. And to give us an empty building without all the equipment. Imagine I had a bad arm, I went to the hospital yesterday, and I was told that there's no hospital, it's just a people not there. And we have to pull us to spend so much money, 300 and something million dollars. And you just put that building there with nothing in it. I mean, that's not looking good. So that is what I have to do.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm laughing, Rejan, because you spoke earlier on and you spoke about the trend of elections. One of the most popular margins, 11-6. And so far we have, I think, 3 callers. One of them said 8-2, 10. But most of the persons who will say the victory, well, a couple persons have said more, but then you have had more persons says 11-6. Good evening, welcome to Election Countdown.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My prediction is the party.
How many?
By how many?
Where are you calling from?
Castries Southeast. And you're saying which party will win the election?
So you say that Lisa is going to retain that seat for the St. Lucia Labour Party? Hello?
Hello? We lost that call?
Yeah, I think we lost that call.
We lost the call.
Yeah, so I was saying, and being on the ground, you were sensing, you were hearing what the people were saying. And when I said, I was saying that to some people, and they said, "Nix, you're a madman."
That seems to be been a commonality for you over the last election.
Yes, and then when it came out, I said, "But I told you also." They said, "Boy, we never saw it, but you're right." I said, "But yeah," because I said, I was on ground, I was speaking to the people, you heard what they were saying, and you were feeling the pulse of the people. And that is what they were saying. So I was not surprised. I was surprised Guy lost. I think most of St. Lucia were quite surprised at that result. But coming this time around, it's going to be interesting because you have a new candidate in terms of Lisa. But it's I think one of the interesting things where you have Babono and Castries Southeast, you change the incumbent and you put new candidates. And there was one election in 2021 or 2011, I think it was it 11, where you had, hi, good evening, welcome to Election Countdown. Hello? Hi, hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes?
Hi, caller, where are you calling from?
Hello?
Lost the call.
Okay, we lost the caller. Yes, and I was saying about, I lost my train of thought there.
I think you were saying in the Babono and Castries Southeast constituency, we saw the St. Lucia Labour Party switching
switch
the
candidates.
incumbents.
And when you had, although you would not switch, but he switched constituencies, you had Damien Graves, who left Denry South and he went Denry North, and he lost. Then you had Emma, who lost in Rosalie. She went to
Soufrière
and she won. Hi, good evening. Welcome to Election Countdown. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm calling to make a prediction.
Where are you calling from?
And my prediction is UWP will win by 13 seats.
13 seats.
13. What constituency are you calling from?
Say that?
Where are you calling from?
Miku North.
Miku North.
Miku North. So you are predicting that Elisha is going to be Jeremiah.
By all means, yes.
Why do you think so?
Why I think so?
Uh-huh.
Jeremiah has not done anything for Miku North, you know, especially Miku Village. He has not done anything.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. You know, I was actually in Miku last week, Wednesday, and persons who shared some of that same sentiment. And I don't go too much into what was said because I don't want people to think that I am campaigning for one person or another. Wow, I didn't realize that the time is fast approaching.
Fast approaching.
Yes, we only have 5 minutes left. And I think what we should be doing now is to wrap up because we have a time. We finish at 10 o'clock.
But I think we got a great coverage of different callers calling from around the island, giving different perspectives, and I think it's very close. We had quite a few SLP callers. We had quite a few UWP callers. I think that's an indication of a very narrow margin election, and which is what I as well am predicting, that the win is not going to be by a far gap. It's going to be very close based on what we're seeing happening, based on the feel on the ground in some constituencies where it's really, there are some constituencies where it's very loud which party is being favored, but there are some constituencies where it's very any man's game, or any man or woman's game, I should say, in that. So I think it's very interesting, and of course we're still watching Election Countdown. Hopefully, as we get more and more closer to nomination day and closer to election day, we're going to get a louder sense of which party will take over and be governing St. Lucia for the next five years.
Most definitely. And I think what was interesting, one commonality is the margin of victory. Very close to your prediction of 11-6. We have a 13-4. We have 8-2, we have a 10-7, but it's very close. Although somebody said the Labour Party is taking everything.
I think somebody said 17-0.
17-0. But like I said, it is impossible for Labour Party to win 17 seats because they do not have 17 candidates. They only have 15 candidates. So although the two candidates that are there, the coalition party, they are more aligned with that of the St. Lucia Labour Party. So we have to wait and see what is happening and how it is going to happen, or what is going to happen. 21st nomination day, that will be interesting. We would know by then, on that day. We will know by then how many candidates you truly have, how many would be independent. But the Prime Minister says that there'll be a bombshell, and I think everybody is waiting to hear what that bombshell is, because he said that some big person across from the United Workers' Party is coming across to that of the St. Lucia Labour Party. There were some predictions. Some of the pundits were saying it would be that of the current MP for Choiseul, Saltibus. But he's come out and categorically he said, no, I have been approached, I have been offered, but I'm saying to you, I will not be doing that. I am staying true to the United Workers' Party. I favor the United Workers' Party, and I'm in support of the leadership of the United Workers' Party. So therefore, I am not jumping ship. So the question is, the big question, go question say, qui laisse go pitcher, qui laisse go gwef, qui kai quitte parties are.
And I think that is a thing we'll probably talk about on our next episode, about that jumping ship, because we saw quite a few jump shippers over the last weekend, a week going so we're looking forward to that next episode. Of course, you're going to tune in to us tomorrow, Wednesday, right here on Hot 7 TV. We are going to be on Flow 117. We are on the Caribbean Hot FM HD app, Caribbean Hot FM Facebook page, and Hot 7 TV plug and play antenna, and we're on simulcast on the Kiss FM. We're looking forward to tomorrow's episode, where we're going to talk about the jump shippers. We're going to have an in-depth discussion on constituency by constituency, looking at the different dynamics and the candidates as well, posing to see who's going up for the different constituency seats. And Alex, looking forward to tomorrow?
Most definitely. Et puis c'est ici, ça, je depuis nous encore, demain, c'est pas dire, même là, 8h pour 10h, côté donné, élection card. Donc, côté nous, quand regarder pli en dedans, qui ça va aller pour élection 2025. Non, moi, c'est Henix Joseph, et puis moi là, et puis Rejan Montout. Nous, quand demain, c'est pas dire.
Hot 7 TV is the rising star of television in St. Lucia, with our stunning 100% HD quality, fresh, exciting programming, including a balanced, professional newscast. We are now the fastest growing TV station in all time slots on cable. Additionally, over 10,000 households